A famous Chinese snack brand, Bestor, is currently facing heavy public criticism. Many customers, hoping to enjoy a flavorful bowl of spicy and sour noodles, were shocked to discover that the noodles were made from synthetic ingredients instead of real starch. In China, spicy and sour noodles are a popular instant food known for their distinctive taste. However, anti-counterfeit activist Sauna discovered that Bestor's noodles did not contain even the slightest trace of any kind of starch. Not sweet potato, not cassava, not even potato starch. Even though these were listed as ingredients. He conducted tests for over 2 months and was shocked by the results. Sauna realized that the so-called sweet potato starch in these noodle packs didn't actually exist at all. The main supplier for Bestor's spicy and sour noodles, Hunan Binzhong Food Technology Company, is well known for using heat-reactive flavorings and synthetic seasonings, a term in the industry that refers to a mix of cheap starches and chemical thickeners. While Bestor's product labels boldly claim to use sweet potato starch, the tests found no trace of it whatsoever. Some bloggers have speculated. Is this even food, or are we eating fake noodles mixed with industrial gelatin? This discovery has left many consumers feeling betrayed, as if they're being served not only artificial noodles, but also a brand's moral decline. Industrial gelatin costs less than $2.75 per 2.2 pounds, and can be used to produce up to 660 pounds of fake noodles. Meanwhile, real sweet potato starch costs about $110 per ton. However, Bestor's hot and sour noodles are sold at around $9.60 per 2.2 pounds, which means the retail price reaches $96,000 per ton, a massive profit margin made possible by cutting corners on ingredients. After calculations, the total profit from using real sweet potato starch is 88%, while the total profit from using fake sweet potato starch is 97%. For Bestor, this difference of less than 10% is enough for them to lower food quality and even risk being exposed. Similar issues were also found with another one of their products, cinnamon lotus root starch. Microscopic tests showed that this product, which was advertised as pure lotus root starch, had actually been mixed with nearly half cheap cassava starch. In China, cassava starch is used as pig feed and costs only a few dozen dollars per ton to import, while lotus root starch can cost up to $700 per ton. Consumers paid a premium price for this high-end lotus root starch, but what they actually got was pig feed. On October 3rd, Sauna brought his test results to Bestor's headquarters in Wuhan, hoping for a reasonable response. Instead, he was met with aggression. Mass security guards reportedly stormed into the office, grabbed him and his assistant by the collar, and confiscated their recording equipment, even in the presence of market regulators. Sauna recalled, 5 or 6 masked men rushed at me, kicked me, snatched my phone, and threatened to kill us if we dared to ask questions. The attackers' arrogance and the fact that Sauna's team was later taken to police station revealed deeper underlying issues. This reaction has sparked serious concerns. Why did Bestor choose to resort to threats of force instead of legal channels, unless they felt they had no valid defense? Ultimately, on November 4th, Bestor issued a statement asserting that all of their products had passed inspections this year, including a recent report. However, the company's report only covered products manufactured after July, while Sauna's findings pointed to issues with shipments produced earlier. This incident highlights a serious problem in the enforcement of food standards, as companies exploit regulatory loopholes to deceive consumers. In response, online commenters mocked the company, saying it was like hiding silver under the floor and flatly denying it when caught. Some joked. They checked whatever they wanted and blamed any problems on the managers. And here I thought I could trust the more expensive stuff, but they just treat me like a fool. The backlash was so intense, with angry comments flooding Bestor's live streams, that they had to disable the comment feature. While Bestor's lotus root powder was pulled from major e-commerce platforms, financial reporters still found their spicy and sour noodles for sale on their Tmall store. The store's brazen actions not only reveal a decline in corporate ethics, but also point to a deeper crisis within China's food industry. Many companies are forced to strike a balance between quality and cost amid fierce market competition. When a brand uses low-quality or counterfeit ingredients, it sets off a domino effect of unhealthy competition, leading to a downward spiral across the industry. In this environment, lower-quality products push higher-quality ones out of the market, and cheaper prices drive ethical brands away. This vicious cycle may be one of the core reasons behind Bestor's downfall. A factory owner in northeast China once recounted how his plant struggled when their milk failed to meet quality standards. Some people suggested adding shredded chicken to improve the texture, but he refused, feeling it was highly unethical. Later, he discovered that competitors were using melamine, a chemical additive, to boost protein levels. This kind of cutthroat competition eventually forced his factory to shut down. This year, the store's mid-year net profit was only about $970,000. A brand that claimed to offer premium snacks was caught engaging in fraudulent practices, yet still couldn't even break even. This competitive environment raises an important question. How many food companies are still selling genuine products? Ironically, Bestore's competitors in the spicy and sour noodle market remained unusually silent throughout the scandal. Consumers tagged other well-known noodle brands, hoping they would address the controversy and draw attention to it. However, major brands like Three Squirrels stayed quiet, leading people to wonder if they all shared the same supplier. Anhui Yanfuang Food Company Limited produces lotus root powder for Bestore. This is a well-known brand in China, specializing in processing bean products, rice flour, sliced products, and porridge. Their products are available in major supermarket chains, such as China Resources, Walmart, and Carrefour. However, in June of this year, the company was exposed for selling counterfeit arrowroot powder. Hanambin Trong Food Technology Company, the manufacturer of noodles for Bestore, is even more reputable, supplying products to major brands like Master Kong and Uni-President. This scandal has exposed a suspicious alliance within the supply chain. Each shipment of rice crackers from Hanambin Trong Food Technology Company is measured by the ton. The company offers a wide variety of crackers, and their products are available in most provinces across China, as well as in several overseas markets. It can be said that Bestore's counterfeit goods scandal has cast suspicion on the companies within the supply chain, suggesting possible collusion. 2 years ago, the yo-yo fake noodle scandal broke out, revealing that manufacturers had substituted tapioca starch for sweet potato starch while still labeling the product as the latter. This kind of product swapping has become common in the industry. The controversy over spicy noodles and lotus root noodles still hasn't died down, and now the shady world of the cooking oil market is once again coming to light. Recently, a netizen posted a video on X complaining about some fresh peanut oil she bought at a vegetable market, which was shockingly cheap at just 70 cents per pound. She bought about 11 pounds, but when she heated it up at home, she was shocked by a strong chemical smell similar to gasoline. After searching online, she realized that the so-called peanut oil was actually low-quality oil mixed with chemical flavorings, and might even be gutter oil. She said, "I poured all the oil down the toilet." Even healthy foods can be misleading. A certain brand claims its soy sauce contains no additives and is fermented for 365 days. However, the ingredient list includes sugar and MSG. The no additives claim turns out to be a registered trademark, not an actual ingredient label. In the food processing industry, counterfeiting isn't limited to large factories. It's also common in small workshops. Pineapple beer drinks produced by small local factories have an unusually sweet and sticky taste. Not like artificial sweeteners, but the strong sweetness of fruit syrup and corn syrup. The ingredient list even states 0 calories. Some more cautious manufacturers add a small note, bottled for circulation. Ingredient list is for reference only, clearly signaling to consumers that the ingredient list may not be trustworthy. Sometimes, manufacturers don't even bother adjusting proportions. They simply change the name on the label to deceive consumers. This reflects deep-rooted corruption and moral decline throughout the Chinese food industry. Systemic food safety issues are also affecting educational institutions. Recently, a safety officer at Guangzhou University reported that expired food ingredients were being used in the cafeteria. Instead of addressing the problem, the school fired the whistleblower. Regarding fake sweet potato noodles, it's worth noting that this ingredient is hard to find not only because of high cost, but also because it can't withstand cooking without turning mushy. Consumers unfamiliar with proper cooking techniques often mistake pure sweet potato noodles for low-quality products, leading to frequent returns and complaints. As a result, many manufacturers add stabilizers to improve the noodle's durability and texture. While this isn't technically fraud, it's a compromise made to meet market demand and ensure product consistency. In some rural areas, sweet potato noodles are still handmade by local farmers and small workshops. Although hygiene in these production environments can be problematic, knowledgeable consumers often prefer these handmade noodles. One user shared, "Every year, I get pure sweet potato noodles from my cousin. After a quick boil, I rinse them in ice water, add aged vinegar, chili, and soy sauce. Just one bowl makes me feel refreshed." The Chinese Communist Party rules through deception and dishonesty, and under this system, people from all walks of life have learned to deceive and harm one another. The entire society has experienced a moral decline, which helps explain the widespread food fraud in China. An outraged user wrote, "These brands are truly unscrupulous. They fake ingredient lists, dilute their products, and blatantly cut corners on materials. The real cost of food processing isn't in the raw ingredients, but in transportation, marketing, packaging, and distribution. Yet they choose to compromise on ingredients just to make a quick profit. They deserve every bit of criticism they get." For a brand that claims to be high-end, Bestore was caught substituting cheap cassava starch for sweet potato starch and mixing their noodles with chemical thickeners. One comment read, Is this major brand really so desperate that they have to save just a few yuan on raw materials? They've already raised their product prices, and consumers are willing to pay more. Why is it so hard to stay honest? This issue points to a deeper problem. Many of the store's executives are members of the Chinese Communist Party with complex ties to the party. This connection may explain why, after fraud was exposed, the company chose to silence dissenters instead of apologizing and making things right, rather than addressing the problem. They shut down those who spoke up, a common practice among Chinese Communist Party officials. The actions of these executives reflect the management style of the Chinese Communist Party. The store's leadership made serious statements affirming that their products were compliant with regulations and that the issues had been resolved, but inspections only covered shipments produced after July, while the problems were found in earlier batches. The dishonesty of these business leaders reveals the tacit approval and protection provided by the system. You might think these brands operate independently, but executives and officials have formed an alliance of shared interests. When Sauna was attacked, the regulators present turned a blind eye, a classic example of the Chinese Communist Party's approach, maintaining a facade of stability through lies and force, rather than addressing real problems. Best Store is just a small-scale model of the entire system. In this system, deception, fraud, and violence have long become the norm, and the real victims are ordinary consumers. The Chinese Communist Party's concern for food safety lags far behind its efforts to combat pornography, crime, and maintain social stability. Food safety oversight is enforced selectively, which only makes things worse. High-ranking officials and influential families enjoy exclusive access to high-quality food supplies, meticulously controlled throughout sourcing and production. Because this elite group is shielded from unsafe food, there is little incentive to strictly regulate it. Additionally, the strict enforcement of food safety regulations would increase costs and food prices, placing a burden on low-income people and potentially causing instability. Aware of this, the ruling class has implemented low food safety standards. As long as the food is edible, concerns about health and quality are ignored. The notorious 2008 scandal involving melamine-tainted milk initially raised hopes that dairy regulations would be improved. However, not only were the standards not tightened, but they were quietly lowered. Today, fast food chains like KFC and McDonald's are ironically considered relatively safe food options compared to local food because they maintain higher quality and safety standards than local restaurants and supermarkets. It seems that in China, even basic food safety depends on foreign companies to fill the gap. The recent counterfeit goods scandal involving Best Store has only reinforced this viewpoint. Amid widespread exposure and growing consumer disappointment, the American retail chain Sam's Club has unexpectedly become a lifeline. Many people have commented, food in China is truly unsafe. Even a well-known and reputable company like Best Store has stooped this low. It seems like now we can only rely on Sam's Club. In this poorly regulated food environment, some internet users have even mocked the situation by creating a parody video of a fictional parade of food additives, modeled after Chinese military parades. Now entering is the Food Additives Brigade, led by Major General Sodium Benzoate and Major General Potassium Sorbate. This brigade is built on technology and cunning, boasting impressive achievements, threatening public health and undermining children's development.